It's always a bit of a surprise when a series removes a character in a sequel. This can be due to anything from a rift between director and actor, or those dreaded scheduling conflicts. However, sometimes a character will cause so much animosity in fans around the world that when it comes time to create the sequels, writers and directors will simply leave them out entirely. Whatever the reason, these characters were enough of a problem that studios deemed it fit that they should be removed for the sake of the franchise as a whole. I'm Gareth from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 hated movie characters that were written out after fan backlash. Number 10. Willie Scott, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Willie Scott, played by Kate Capshaw, was Indiana Jones's love interest in the Temple of Doom. The film was a prequel at the suggestion of producer George Lucas, who wanted to make another Indiana Jones movie, but this time without the Nazis being the villain. Due to this, Indy's first love interest, Marion Ravenwood, was replaced by Willie. In the movie, however, she irritated fans almost the entire time she was on screen, mostly because she was far more of a damsel in distress than Marion. While this was actually intended in order to make a strong contrast between the two, it made her seem like a whiny and all-around irritating character. So when The Last Crusade came out, Scott was gone. Partly because of the time setting, and while she was mentioned in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, thankfully she did not make an appearance. Number 9. Rose Tico, Star Wars The Last Jedi. Rose Tico was one of the oddest parts of Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi, and that is saying something. Sadly, fans thought she added very little to the film and was generally seen as a bit of a drag to the movie as a whole. The Last Jedi was panned by audiences for a large number of reasons, and Rose was pinpointed as one of the biggest issues, to the point that there was actually a serious movement to get her out of the series altogether. Part of this movement had a darker underside too, as a group of fans bullied actress Kelly Marie Tran until she quit social media, and that is just not on. When playing out the sequel, Disney looked to reverse what Johnson had done in The Last Jedi, whether they admitted it or not. Writers J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio considered this when writing the script, and saw a chance to undo Rose as a character completely, giving her just over a minute of total screen time. The Rise of Skywalker ended up being a critical flop, and the treatment of Tran was seen as giving in to those who bullied her off social media. Not a good look, Disney. Number 8. Sean Boswell, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. After Too Fast Too Furious, the series was taken in a new direction, with Tokyo Drift moved away from Vin Diesel and Paul Walker to focus on a new character in Lucas Black's Sean Boswell. Somewhat unsurprisingly, the sequel was the lowest grossing movie in the franchise, and was critically a failure with the third lowest rating on Rotten Tomatoes of the entire franchise. Part of this was due to Black's acting, which fell flat according to critics. When Fast and Furious, the fourth movie in the series, came around, the studio reverted back to Vin Diesel and Paul Walker, and left Sean Boswell and the whole story of Tokyo Drift way behind in the rearview mirror. While Fast and Furious also ended up being a bit of a critical failure itself, scoring only 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, Lucas Black and the character he played seemed bad enough for Universal to stick with Vin Diesel for the other films going forward. Number 7. Alexander O'Connell, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. In the second movie in the Mummy series, Rick and Evelyn were gifted a son, Alex. This led to more perceived tension in the film as Imhotep kidnapped Alex, causing Rick and Evelyn to chase after him. Like most children in films, Alex ended up being annoying to fans as he was incredibly precocious and all-round irritating. Oftentimes in movies, children are just added in to be cute. Sometimes though, as with Alex, the character ends up simply irritating fans. The inclusion of the character obviously didn't do much for the movie altogether, as it only scored 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. In the third installment, The Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, Alex wasn't cut completely, but to remove the precocious and irritating child, they simply set the movie later and aged him up, making him a far less annoying character as a whole. Number 6. Short Round, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. It might be seen as cheating to use two characters from the same movie, but my god did Temple of Doom have some seriously terrible characters. Short Round was Indy's sidekick in Temple of Doom and suffered from the same problem that Alex O'Connell did in the Mummy movies. While it was easy to see the reasoning behind putting him in the movie in the first place, giving the children in attendance a character to relate with, it was an experiment doomed to failure. In The Last Crusade, Spielberg chose to leave Short Round out, and thankfully he didn't return in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull either. Though Shia LaBeouf's character of Mud was definitely not much of an improvement. Number 5. Skids and MUDFLAP Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. The twin Transformers, Skids and MUDFLAP, appeared in the original film sequel, Revenge of the Fallen, as Autobots. And when the third film came around, they were unceremoniously cut. This was due largely to them being little more than racist stereotypes. They make no appearance in the subsequent films and are revealed to have been killed by Sentinel Prime in the comic version of Dark of the Moon. Whether or not the Transformers movies are good is up for debate, but the decision to remove these lazy attempts of characters was definitely a wise one, and one of Michael Bay's few intelligent choices throughout the entire series. Number 4. The Joker, Suicide Squad. Jared Leto decided to go full method with his role as the Joker in Suicide Squad and didn't drop character throughout his entire time on set. This led to him pissing off most of the cast, most notably Margot Robbie, who said that she would not work with him again. He sent cast members used condoms, live rats, and demanded to only be referred to as Mr. J. This was on top of angering all of the fans of the character itself. This backlash all started when the original design was released online, and Leto had the word "damaged" tattooed across his forehead. It was clear that David Ayer was wanting Leto to play an edgier Joker than before, leaning hard into the madman angle that had made Heath Ledger's Joker so successful in The Dark Knight. However, it seemed that Leto simply didn't have the chops to pull off the role, with his Joker coming across less intimidating and more like that weird kid in your class who thinks he's anti-cool. In all of the upcoming Suicide Squad-related productions, Leto is thankfully nowhere to be seen, and now that the second trailer for Birds of Prey has dropped, it's clear that he has been permanently taken out by a catastrophic explosion. We hope. Number 3. Ghostbusters 2016. The 2016 Ghostbusters was a failure by all accounts. Like Suicide Squad, the movie's first trailer gave it a heap of buzz and audiences felt excited about this new version of the Ghostbusters. The movie, however, did not live up to that hype, with a raft of criticism and an audience score of 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. Part of this was down to the characters all clashing and trying to be the comedic relief of the movie, as well as the general unfunniness of the end product. In the trailers for the upcoming Ghostbusters Afterlife, it is stated that there hasn't been a ghost scene in 30 years, retconning the 2016 Ghostbusters as never actually having happened in that movie's canon. Oh, that hurts. Number 2. Agent Myers, Hellboy 2004. Agent Myers in Guillermo del Toro's first Hellboy movie was meant to act as the audience's viewpoint in the context of the movie. This allowed the characters and situations to be explained to someone who would be as clueless as the audience would be in this brave new world. Beyond stealing Hellboy's girl, Liz, Myers never really does anything that makes him especially annoying. He just fails on one key point. He's boring. He doesn't do anything interesting, he's not funny, and he has no superpowers. The only weapon at his disposal is his confused face. In the Golden Army, he doesn't even make an appearance and is explained away in one line of dialogue saying he was transferred to Antarctica at Hellboy's request. That's what you get when you steal a guy's girl. While this is supposedly due to scheduling conflicts, his character was a bit of a letdown for the first movie, and it is likely that Del Toro didn't want to use a character that fans really disliked again. Number 1. Jar Jar Binks, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Oh, you just knew it was gonna come, didn't you? Jar Jar Binks might be one of the most hated characters in movie history, and it's not hard to see why. The prequels as a whole are pretty much looked down on, with Phantom Menace being near the bottom on most people's list of favorite Star Wars films. Jar Jar Binks was a big part of that problem. Beyond the not-so-subtle racism of the planet native being dumb and worshipping the technology-advanced visitors, Jar Jar Binks was just plain annoying. With his irritating way of speaking and his tendency to get himself into scrapes out of pure stupidity, Jar Jar was clearly unleashed as an ill-planned comic relief that did nothing to help the overall movie. He made brief appearances in both Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, but his role was greatly reduced, thankfully. However, Jar Jar can still proudly claim to being one of the most irritating characters, not just in Star Wars, but in all of film. And that's our list. Know of any other hated movie characters that were written out after fan backlash? Feel free to remind us of them in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, why not head over to whatculture.com and check out some more articles. I've been Gareth from What Culture, and I hope you're having the awesome day you definitely deserve, and I'm sure to see you soon. Goodbye.